Next, ladies and gentlemen, we have a speech, Effective Incident Response Strategy for Converged IT, OT, IoT, and double IoT environments. Our speaker is the Cybersecurity Director of Nournet. Please put your hand together for Mohammad Al-Rawabdeh.
Thank you. In the early 2000s in Saudi Arabia, most likely we focused on the cybersecurity in traditional way. How we focus in cybersecurity? We focus in protecting our environment and defending our environment against the traditional IT threats. Traditional IT threats like viruses, malwares, and so on. Right now, and let us say fast forward to today, we start facing more challenges. Why? Let us say the nature of the business changed because the IT now become everywhere and in part of each business. And when we talk about the 2030 vision, we talk about mega projects like NEOM, we talk about the Line, Red Sea, and so on. All of these projects, they introduce to us a complex IT environment. Complex IT environment with complex setup like IT, OT, IoT, and IoT seamlessly integrated. This is mean that the attack interface, it's become larger and it's become major for the many companies and it's become very complicated. Today, just we will go through the incident response strategy to handling such a complex environment. So we will go through all the incident response stages. After that, we will know the challenges that this complex environment introduced to us. After that, we will know how to mitigate such an issue. Let us first of all just defining what's the IT, what's the OT, IoT, and IIoT. When we talk about the IT, everybody know the IT. IT is the traditional servers that we use in our normal IT systems. So, and mainly when we talk about the IT came to manage the data and manipulate the data and access the data. So the IT system is the process of managing the data. Operation technology, it's mainly used in factories, in industrial fields. So it's system used to monitor and control the physical process. IoT, the Internet of Things, it's the smart devices that used around us to access transforming the data from place to place. IIoT, it's the IoT, but for industrial fields. It's used specifically for the industrial fields. So when we come to the OT, IoT, and IoT, okay? For example, when we come to the IT, we'll talk about PCs, servers, printers, websites, email, all the traditional technologies that we know it, okay? But when we come to the operation technology, at that time we will talk about control systems, PLC, SCADA environment, alarm, facilities management, and so on. When we come to the IoT, IoT, it's a tablet, smartphones, cameras, all of these, it's related to the IoTs. IIoTs, if you visit any factors or if you visit any organization dealing with a heavy machines, there is many sensors, there is many alarming system. It's used for interacting with the OT environment. Incident response. Why we talk about the incident response? When we have IT, OT, and IoT, this is mean the attack interface, it's become complicated attack interface. So we have to prepare ourselves So in the future, if la samahallah, any incident happened, we can respond to the incident in timely manner and reduce the impact on the environment. So as all of us know that the incident response is starting in a preparation phase to prepare our environment, and this session is part of our preparation phase to the incident response and end with lesson learned. First of all, when we come to the incident response, we have to structure a team able to handle such challenge. Many of us now, they are dealing with the incident response inside the company for the IT department. Okay, so we need network engineer, we need OS engineer, OS Microsoft, CentOS, Red Hat, and so on. So we gather all the experience. So in the future, if we face any incident, we can recover from incident very fast, and we can reply to this attack and containing very fast. So first of all, we should have incident manager to coordinate the things between the team. After that, incident analysis. It's one of the most important phase. Forensic experts, IT support, OT support. Sometimes the IoT function, it will be with IT teams, and sometimes it will be separated. So the adding points here is having the IT support, OT support, IT specialist, OT specialist. Then we will define the role and responsibility for each team. Preparation phase. Preparation phase, by tradition, we know that the preparation phase is developing incident response plan. We have something written, okay, instead of start thinking during the incident. And we have a training and drills. We have to train our employees about the incident response and tools and resources. Challenges in the convergence environment like IoT, OT, and this environment. Integration on diverse system. Now we have to train our employees and to train our incident response team on IoT, OT, IoT. So the type of the training, it's become more complex, okay? So the company, they have to spend more money to train their employee. This is a challenge. They have to acquire a very high skilled people to understand all of this environment. Complex network topology. So now we are not dealing only with switches, normal firewalls, and so on. No, right now we are dealing with IoT, with OT technologies, with SCADA, PLC systems. Resource allocation. This is one of the most challenging part because right now, even in the IT security, we are facing an issue in a shortage in the cybersecurity resources. So what if we have IoT, OT? Detection phase, all of us know the continuous monitoring, the tools like SIM solution and so on, and the threat intelligence, indication of compromise, and all of these kind of detection. What's the challenges in IoT, OT environment, the complex environment? The challenge that we will have a high volume of data. Usually the OT, the IoT, they are generating a high volume of data. So it's not, sometimes we are facing a challenge when we're dealing with IT because of the amount of data and how we can detect the incident or the potential incident through this data. So what if we have OT and IoT? This is a big challenge for us. False positive. What if you have false positive in IT? For example, you have a laptop or machine, you can contain it, there is no impact. But what if you have in electricity company and you have factory and you need to contain a huge machine? It's not make sense. So even the containment, it will be changed. And limited visibility. Unfortunately, some of the OT environment and OT network now, they are using some legacy system. Some of them still running Windows XP. So there is no visibility. It's very tough to connect to such environments. Analysis, for sure, the analysis phase, correlating all this amount of data, lack of context because we don't have that visibility and complex threat. This is the issue. Some of the OT detection methodology is to convert some signals from voltage and from traditional electricity signals to data, so you can manipulate it and see how you can do it. The containment, maybe we talk about the containment. It's not easy to isolate IoT and OT system because usually in the IT department, when you isolate a laptop or machine, you will affect one employee, two employee, team. But when you isolate OT network, this is meaning maybe you will affect country. The whole country will be affected with this isolation. Depend on the business of the country. So eradication, we have attack, we need to remove the attack. If we need to remove the attack in the IT department, IT culture, it's easy. We can just format the laptop, do anything like this. But in OT, it's not easy because you need mechanical engineers, you need industrial engineers, you need engineers maybe sometimes from the mother company to do all of this. The same for recovery, it's the same challenges for the containment, but we mention it just for reference. The lesson learned, also we need expert in each field to have a lesson learned and a root cause for each environment and update our process and the procedure. This is example and case study for Ukraine power grid cyber attack in 2015. It was maybe 3 or 4 cities. Disconnect the electricity into 2-3 cities. The attack, it's simply compromise using phishing email. They gain access using phishing email on the laptop of one of the employee. After that, they inject a remote access Trojan. From the remote access Trojan, the attackers, they could access the OT environment. And from the OT environment, they shut down some of a module for the power grid system and firm wiping. After that, logical bomb, usually the attacker put it in the system after he left the system. So there is a huge impact and they take days to recover from this incident. So this is the most important part of the presentation. What we should do, okay? The first thing, when we have IT, OT, IoT, we should have network segmentation. Network segmentation is the key here. So when we isolate the IT environment and the access to the IT environment from the whole OT environment and IoT environment, will play a major key to save our OT environment. So segmentation is the main factor to protect your environment. Phishing awareness and training. See, it's the second point because around 70 to 80% from the attack came from internal threats. What's internal threats? The weaknesses inside the company. The most dangerous weakness is the weakness in the cybersecurity and the maturity of the employees. So awareness and training in cybersecurity is the major part to protect your environment. Improve incident response plan. Incident response plan, not for compliance only. Incident response plan, you have to train your employee on how to act when the incident happened. You have to write incident plan touching the ground. Touching the ground. It's compatible. It's not about just to purchase it from any website or to have it copy-paste from any other similar organization. It should be adapt with your local environment. Improve incident response plan. Cybersecurity collaboration. This is the most important part. Sometimes when we have even IT environment, because of the lack of communication between cybersecurity department, ID department, network department, we face a lot of challenge. So if we need to have a good incident response, this is mean we have to have a more communication channel between our team, IT team, OT team, IoT team. We have to train them and open a channel of communication. After that, unified security frameworks. Okay. Now, I think most of you now, with a lot here in the kingdom, a lot of regulation, we face an issue. We have maybe 7, 8, 9 frameworks. So we work on each framework separately. Now, when you work in your company, you have to write one framework for your company with the best practice, instead of each time working with different compliance. This will make it easily for you. You can manage it and you can monitor it. What's the value of a process if we apply it on our organization without continuous monitoring and make sure that this process is applied on the ground? Enhanced detection capabilities. Right now, when we have huge data, in OT, IoT, we have to use the AI methodologies. We have to use the AI approach because the AI is the key factor and the key success in this stage. Why? Because data analytics and AI will save a lot of time, will provide you more accurate result about the detection and the issues inside your environment. Enhance cross-functions team. This is very important. Cross-function teams in many international organizations, sometimes they have IT, they have officer in the OT team, and OT team have officer in the IT, and IoT and the same. Why? Because we need some interfaces between these teams, and we need each one to understand the language of other team. Yani, we don't need, wallahi, OT team, they are talking about SCADA and OT and heavy machine language, and IT team couldn't understand what they are talking about. The same, by the way, if we need just to take example from the IT system, the same issue happened between IT team, cybersecurity team, and the business team, or the higher management, or the senior management. For example, when we talk about banks, when you go to their major business is related to loans, financial, investment, and so on. So when someone of the cybersecurity team came and say, Wallahi, we need cybersecurity system to protect our environment from threats, they will say, okay, what do you mean by threats? They will take it in the normal business language. Okay, so they will not realize the importance of this. So we have to, each team have to talk with other team languages. Regular training, we have to provide a regular training for our teams from time to time. The training is not like, wallahi, we need a training from specialized company. One of the OT engineer can do a training for the IT engineer, one of the IT for OT, and so on. Okay, and the cross function. Yani, it's good sometimes to make one of the IT team go to OT team and work for 1 month on some similar jobs. This will increase the knowledge of the IT team. Data correlation. Now, most of us facing a challenge, even the normal IT correlations. Okay, to find the gaps or the issues inside the environment. So what we are, if we have OT and IoT and IT, it's a big challenge. When we take a crane power grid example, the attack, it came from the IT environment, then jump to the OT environment. This is mean securing the IT, securing the OT is very important for us, closing the door and detecting the incident from the beginning, from the day zero. Effective containment and recovery plan. When the issue, sometimes when the things happened, we start think about how to solve it. Okay, and this is, by the way, applied on the whole business, not the IT only. We remember the corona pandemic. Okay, by the way, the corona pandemic, it's follow the same steps of incident response in IT. There is a quarantine for the infected human. They close the road for a set of times. Then they will start for the eradication by sanitizing the roads, the hospital, and so on. They increase their capabilities. They increase the capabilities of hospital. Then they start finding the solution for this pandemic. It's the same. But the most important things, to know what to do immediately when the incident happened, not start thinking about what to do when the things happened. Continuous improvement. Day after day, the things become complicated. The market, for example, if we came to Saudi Arabia in 2000 and came now, okay? If we don't have update about the 2030 projects, what's happening inside Saudi Arabia, the NCA vision, the central bank vision, we will not know how to deal with the market and how to deal with the organizations. Develop unified incident response plan, implement security measures, ensure visibility and controls for all the environment is the key points as well for such containment. Promote collaboration and communication. We talk about it between all the team, regular testing and drilling, leverage advanced technologies, AI, data analytics. All of that will help you. And I hope we give enough information just to start thinking about this approach. And thank you all. Thank you.